we good?
Yeah.
We're good. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Funny Yet Serious. Thank you guys for viewing, watching, and subscribing. Diego gave me a C4, and I'm fucking wired. Today we have a massive guest, Billi Royce. Welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing good. How
Thank
about you? You seem
you.
a little bit crazy right now.
Yeah, bring the podcast.
Bring the podcast.
Dude,
I'm gonna bring the podcast closer.
yo, I've never had a C4, and my mind is going 1,000 miles per hour. So if you guys can't even understand me today,
Slow it down.
I just might have to.
Slow it down.
Anyways, thank you for coming. So the way this came about was pretty random. We have someone else coming on the podcast later, and I had heard your music before, and I wanted to have you on, and they were just like, I'm bringing Billi Royce.
Yeah, I'm here.
And now you're here. We're running the podcast, so this should be fun. For the people who don't know you, maybe give them a little elevator pitch about you.
I'm not that interesting, but
Don't say
I'm
that.
An artist. Nah, I'm playing. I'm an artist. I'm from New York. I've been doing it for only a few years. Recently, just had a song blow up on TikTok. It's called New Song. If you've never heard of it, you should go stream it. Yeah, that's pretty much. You'll learn a little bit more about me coming soon. But that's it for now.
Definitely will pitch. As we go along. I don't want to jump right into it, but I'm just going to have to. We were just, chatting shit before we got on, and you showed us an unreleased song.
Uh-huh.
And, dude, it's definitely, that's great.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, I actually made it in Miami. I was finishing Raindrops, the song I just dropped. I think you guys have heard it, but I literally was just like, I need another, a smash hit. Like, it's gotta be big, bro. And when I heard that beat, when I first played that beat, I was like, I never heard something like this before. Like, this is like this is an arena song, And that's that's my dream, is to perform in front of an arena and like really just have the influence to just get the whole crowd going and everything. So when I heard that beat, I was like, I gotta snap on this. And it was honestly one of the really bad day, one of the worst days of my life, low key. It was just like I had this song blow up and everything was kind of going great. And I just started to realize I don't feel any better as it's the same. I got views and shit, but nothing ever feels, it doesn't, you think it's going to feel way better than it does. So I was like, I'm still the same person I was, just because I had a little bit more followers gained or views collected. So, I just put that into the song about, just the concept of feeling like you can get everything you want out of life and you probably still won't feel fulfilled. So I put that into a song, and it ended up being one of my favorite songs, and I played it for you guys. And I genuinely think this is going to be the one. I think it's going to change everything for, not just for me, but, it's a really expressive song, and it's just I open up and I'm pretty vulnerable about it. And I'm just a very big advocate for just speaking what you truly believe in, because a lot of the stuff that is put onto is put out is not really organic and real. And I think that's what, connects people, is real stuff, and what relates to most, and what people can relate to is stuff that makes sense and not just, what everybody speaks about. Because, if everybody speaks about it, then, then everybody could, it's just, I don't know. I guess you guys want to understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I give you props, first off, just for being able to get vulnerable on the microphone.
I think does that. Not a lot of people do it.
I think we both think that song was great. I've heard a lot of your stuff. I've heard most of your stuff, actually. I really enjoy Raindrops. And then the one that blew up on TikTok is called what? New Song?
That's a new song, yeah.
New Song. They're both great. I think this is better than both. And some of your other stuff is also good. But, yeah, we were listening to it. We were jamming. I don't want to give too much away, but it sounded like some other artists. And which, you get a lot from all your other songs, but this is just something entirely different.
I think it's something that if you're a fan of me, that you'll listen to it and not necessarily know who to compare it to. If you are a fan of me and you're just tuning in, even if you're just tuning in or you've been a fan of me, I think when you hear the song, you'll be like, this is something that I never really heard of or expected from Billi. This is not his typical sound, and not a sound that's popular these days. It's very, like I was saying before, I think it's a very unique sound. I think that's what has driven me the little bit of success that I have so far, is just the uniqueness of the sound that I'm putting out. I think it sounds like, I don't think it's as popular on the market right now as the sound that I'm providing for the audience.
Okay, and so we're having a conversation right now, and you sound a certain way. I wanted to kind of ask, the voice you have on your music, is that really your voice, or what are you doing?
Yeah, so basically when I was younger, no one really knows this, but when I was younger, I had an accident where I lost my lower part of my body, so I'm naturally higher pitched. Nah, I'm just playing. But
What the fuck just happened?
I'm playing. I don't know, bro. It's just I've been able to sing since I was young, and I never really knew how to do it. Like, no, I never had a vocal coach or nothing. But like naturally, I guess I don't know. I'm just when I was started like I really got like started singing. It was just in like how everybody else started in the shower, bro. And then one day I was like, I'm not that bad, and like not to toot my own horn, but I was like, this kind of like sounds like close to the artist that I'm trying to resemble, like that I'm singing the songs to. And then I would slowly open up and be like, because I was like very shy, still am, but it's like more and more people be like, yo, you actually kind of sound like good. Like, you ever take up singing before? So yeah, that's the song that you're hearing. New song is sped up. A lot of people comment on my videos and say, this is not you. The real Kid is at Billi Royce too. I'm like, why would that be? It's definitely me. Naturally, I have a higher pitch voice, but the song is sped up. In that case that you're talking about, new song, it's sped up. But naturally, I do have a higher pitch voice. So to answer any questions about that.
You were mentioning a few artists. I read your bio. You said you take a lot of inspiration from X. You take a lot of inspiration from Juice WRLD. What about those artists inspire you?
Yeah, both artists, rest in peace, both passed away. I don't know what it was, bro, but I feel like when I was younger, I just always like, I don't know. It's just like they had a uniqueness to them that, like I said, something about me when I was younger. Because we're talking about a couple years, this is like they were blowing up in like 2017, 2018. So that's a couple years back. But something about them stuck out to me, and just like the vulnerability factor. Like I said, it's just like they're able to. I think the reason that X gained so many fans is because that he was so vulnerable and he spoke about mental health. And like before that, it was like who else was really doing with like the mental health stuff? It's like X and Juice and Lil Peep, and those were like the sad rap. Those were like not to say the founders, but they kind of were. So nothing at that point in my life was like so bad about life. But it was like the other feeling of like not everything has to be happy go lucky, And it was just weird because I was young and I was like starting to experience these feelings that. Just like regular life feelings, like you start to gain consciousness and you're like, okay, like life has a lot of ups and downs. And it's not all like, as you're a kid, you're like, you have nothing to worry about. You're happy every day, every second. It's like, you want to go to the playground and shit. But am I allowed to like curse on this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So something about X and Juice was just like I said, the vulnerability factor. And they just made you feel like you're not just a fan. Like this is like a family. So and just the music melodically just sat with me. Like it's very catchy, but also at the same time it was saying stuff. And that's why I'm very big into saying stuff when in the music is just not like, because the music, I heard this is like, music is kind of like a spell. So it's like the words that you listen to, you remember, it gets stuck in your head if it's a good song. And then like, that's how some people live by. Like, there's like a million different quotes about songs, and that's how people live by. So it's like, something about Juice and X really like just stuck out to me. Like, these are guys that you look up to because they're cool, they're rapper. Everybody wants to be a rapper. Everybody looks up to rappers. And I wouldn't consider myself a rapper, but I just thought that these are the guys that are like at the forefront of rap at the time. And they were different. They were doing stuff that I felt like they were kind of like no one has ever done. No one was ever super vulnerable about mental health, suicide, getting your heart broken. And then that's like when I was like growing up, is like I never like, this is like I'm starting to get into like dating and shit, and like this is like they were talking about like getting broken up and cheated on, like the evil bits of girls, So it's like something I started, connecting with, and like really saw like, okay, like, and then to answer your question, I know I'm talking a lot, but to answer your question, I don't know exactly, but I think something about the vulnerability and just how they weren't afraid to speak about stuff other than drugs, violence, And I think at the end of the day, it was something that I could relate to the most. It's just the relatability factor. I related to that stuff that I was going through at the time.
Oh, I thought you had something to say. No, yeah. I personally love those artists. I guess I kind of see part of that in you, like Juice, X, and you didn't mention them, but Laroi are all in my
Laroi
top
too.
5 of artists.
Laroi wasn't actually, sorry to cut you off, Laroi wasn't out when I first, so that period, Laroi came a little bit after. I take a huge inspiration from him too.
I mean, I kind of want to say that, like, him and I are massive Laroi fans now. And then, Juice, Laroi, X are all in, like, my top 5 of most listened to artists just all time. That's how much I've listened to them. And unfortunately, I got into Juice mostly after his passing. X I've listened to since, fucking question mark.
Yeah, all that 17, all that. I mean, crazy. Not to cut you off, but I never dropped the story, so it's like exclusive. Laroi, bro. I actually have a DM with him. This was back in 2019 at Rolling Loud, Miami. So not a lot of people know this.
Sorry.
But in 2019, I started as an artist manager. And what I used to do was, not to take out, like, just to be real with you, I was like a white kid, and, you know, in my household, it was like no one has ever done music and shit. So it's like, you know, having this dream of being an artist and like a superstar, it was kind of like to my parents, like, you know, like, what do you, like, you know, that's cool, but like, it's not the traditional route, you know. So what I said, okay, I want to be in the music industry. How do I do it? And I started searching and stuff and sitting in class in high school, and I find out you could be like a manager or an A&R and be a part of the business without being the superstar. So I started acting like a manager. I would go on to just DM 1,000 people on Instagram a day, kind of just like outlook of like, I want to work for you. I'm 17. I'll fly anywhere in the world. Like, I don't want to get paid. Just let me be a part of the team. I ended up connecting with a bunch of different people, but in specific, this was a man. You ever see the YouTubers like the Jalals? They were like they are not that big anymore, but this is like the forefront of like when Facebook videos were super popular and like YouTube videos were super popular. Regardless, their manager is a guy named Anthony. Shout out Anthony, bro. He's from Australia, and he was staying with Laroi. I think he was kind of looking over him in 2019. This is when Laroi actually performed at Rolling Loud that year in Miami. And in the lobby of, I forgot the hotel name, but I go to meet, because I wanted to start interning for this guy, Anthony, who was, you know, a manager for these big guys in the prank industry. And he said, like, I got this artist, Laroi. I never heard of Laroi back then. This was 2019, before he even dropped his first song, Let Her Go. But I ended up meeting Laroi in the lobby of his hotel. And this is when I wanted to be a manager. So a crazy story. I was like, you know, like I shook his hand. He left. I had brunch with Leroy's mother and like the nicest woman ever. But his mother and I'm not gonna like cap. I'm not like LeBron and lie about everything. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we not best friends. We weren't like he doesn't know. You know, we're not like close or anything. But Laroi was actually going to meet with G Money and Juice's label at the time. He would just literally got into Suburban. We said, like, I didn't speak to him much. I just said, like, peace, like, nice to meet you, peace. He got in Suburban, waved bye to Anthony, and he took off to Atlanta, and that's when he would sign with them. But he was, like, literally 17 at the time, just, like, flying to Atlanta, flew in from Australia, performed at Rolling Loud, then flew out of there. Sorry to digress, but it's a crazy story. And then, yeah, so that's really how it started. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I forgot how. Oh, Laroi. Yeah, sorry, bro. I really.
Hey, the C4 has got you going too.
I got a lot on my mind, but so that's just a crazy thing. Is I actually have a DM from Laroi. It's just like, it's crazy on my personal account, not even on my artist account. It's just like, yo, it's great to meet you. Like, take down my number. He didn't even have his number at the time. He was so young, but he gave me like his phone number, and then obviously he switched it later. But that's just a crazy story. It's just crazy because like I was trying to intern for him. And now, you know, I took inspiration from him and, you know, his people, and just that's a huge role model, and that's why. But it's just crazy how the world works. Like I was trying to be, you know, a part of the team and help him just manage Laroi. I never got to the point, but like that was my dream. And now, you know, hopefully I could be not the next Laroi because I'm my own person, but be someone like influential and as talented as him.
I like the sound of that. And I mean, not to diminish your story, but I also have DMs with Laroi. It says, bro, hurry up. We've been here since 7. This was a DM I sent him when I was at his concert in 2022, and he was about 2 hours late. So, I mean, you know, Laroi, I love your music, but, you know, maybe be a little bit more punctual. That'd be nice.
Yeah, we both DM'd them like, bro, hurry up. You've been waiting for a while.
Pull it up real quick, just so I'm not LeBroning on this.
So, you know, yeah, so what you're saying is since you're not LeBron, you didn't foresee the future Laroi was bringing to the music industry?
Yeah, so basically what I said is May 12th, 2019, it was good meeting you today at the Hotel Laroi. You're going to be a star. You're in good hands, and your mother is a great woman. Kill it in Atlanta, cunt, with a K. Because that's what these Australian guys were telling me. That's what their slang was. Love, bro, appreciate it. You good, bro? How are you? Nah, I'm in Baltimore on Juice Tour, doing like great. And then I said, what's your number? He said, hold on, let me find my number. It was some random number. We talked, and then he changed it up again. But shout out Laroi. He was a dope person when I met him. His management was good people too. Still connected with them. Not his management now, but at the time, Anthony. Shout out Anthony. That's my Laroi story. But yeah.
If you could real quick put the microphone there you go. I kind of wanted to ask. So I saw some of your videos. obviously you've gone out there and you've like shown people your music on the streets.
Yeah.
And you've been like, oh, people say I sound like Laroi.
Yeah.
But you've also mentioned like a heartbreak. So I kind of asked like, what's kind of like the trauma that you've been through that's made you write these songs?
Here we go.
Yeah. God, bro. A lot of what I put into my music is from traumas that I experienced, but also at the same time, it's traumas that I think other people could relate to and experience. Because that's what, like I said before, is the vulnerability and being able to relate to an artist is the biggest connection. You know, that's why people are going to keep coming back, is if you could relate to what they're saying. And not to say that you can not talk about being rich and not listen to it. You know, like that could still happen, but. You know, I've been through it like what everybody's been through, and then you know, everybody has their own sad story, but it's just what I chose to put into it. So you know, I got heartbroken when I was younger, and then fast forward a couple of years, a more real heartbreak, longer term. Because everybody thinks that they're in love when they're young, bro. You know, it's like you meet the girl at school or on the playground, you're like, I love her, that's my girlfriend. But then it got real, like a couple of years later, different girl, ended up. You know, not working out in the best way. I'm not going to go too much because I'm not going to give anybody free clout. But, I mean, like, this personal breakup stories and just, like, it sucks, bro. Everybody gets heartbroken and it sucks, you know? Like, but that's what I'm here for is what, you know, you don't got to be alone. And not just a heartbreak and not just getting cheated on or you finding out your girl was fucking some other dude, you know? Like, that shit happens. But, you know, like, also, the part that even if it's not a girl, you can still be upset about stuff. You can still have family issues. You know, everybody deals with, you know, problems. So and my music is, even if I haven't related to it, I think it's a common problem that people relate to. It's not just heartbreak, but mental health and being depressed, being sad. Just not that I have experienced all these feelings, but I know that other people have, and that's what I think is the most. That's what inspires me is just like going through real stuff and then, you know, heartbreak, obviously. Everybody's gone through that. And then just.
I mean, yeah.
Real life stuff, bro, you know?
Relatability is the biggest thing in every source of content and everything. I mean, if you look at our last title, it says struggling to find love. Yeah. Diego and I know what you're talking about, man. We've been there and we're still there. And we're going through it every day.
Yeah, man. That's a real thing. Love is not common. Love is it's. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to put any, you know, negativity. But it's not realistically. It's like love is a very complicated thing. It's very hard to be always on your A game with someone that everybody goes. Like I said, everybody goes through their own shit. So like, it's hard to find a compatible like realistically, statistically speaking, Disney movies. We're watching Disney movies, and it's like everybody has a perfect ending, but that's not life, bro. Like that's for kids. It's like you're your own person. You two people. Like statistically, bro, you're not supposed to be able to get along with one person. You go through shit. You go to work. You go through shit. You go to school. You have stuff with your friends. You have stuff with your family. Like, it's realistically stuff is, you know, most of the time is not. It's gonna be a battle to really try to hold on together. You know?
Everybody definitely has their problems, and I mean the fact that you're able to put that into your music is great. So I also wanted to kind of ask. Obviously, you know, you take inspiration from other artists and your own personal life experiences. Out of all your songs, which one would you say was the most difficult to go through the writing process? Was there any in particular that maybe like hurt?
Or was there a ghostwriter?
Nah. No ghostwriter. But I think, you know, Raindrops was tough. That was right after I got, you know, I'm not going to go too into it, but I got, shot in the chest, heartbroken, cheated on, fucked up. All that good stuff. And, you know, it was just a song that it wasn't right after, because, you know, like, I've gone, you know, into different situationships before, but I felt like on that Raindrops song, it was right after, it was like a little bit after the time, and this is the first time I really sat down with myself, because I stopped music for a while, just because, like I said, everybody goes through this shit, so I was just like, not even just heartbreak, it's just like real life, trying to figure out, is this really the thing that I want to do in my life, and so I think Raindrops is a time where really like, okay, do I keep going with this? If so, like, am I going to talk about this? Because, you know, it's like when you deal with conflict, it's like you don't want to talk about it. And then sometimes it's like the best thing to do is talk about it. So it's like my therapy in a way, you know, and I think Raindrops, because that's what really if you listen to it, describes kind of the whole, you know, a small version of the whole story.
I wanna take it back a little bit. When was the shift? So you wanted to be a manager for these artists. Where was the shift where you were like,
That's a good
let me
question.
sing?
I like that question.
Let me start singing.
I really like that question.
Good job, Diego.
Good job, Diego.
Thank you.
And you study. You did your research. I like that too. I think it was just the wet that I think. To be real with you, I think it's when after X and Juice died. I think it was right. Sorry. I think it was when I realized how short life was. That's like the first time I really put in perspective. Like, I tell everybody, this is like life is so short to not do what you want to do every day of your life. You know, like I realized if this is my real dream and this is what I want to do, then why am I hiding behind some? Like that's what I was doing. I was hiding behind something that I wasn't because I was afraid of the judgment factor by my parents, my family, my friends, and anybody that I would come across. And like, I wouldn't say there's a particular day that I could recount. Be like, I woke up, got out of bed, like SpongeBob, like stretch, and be like, I'm an artist. But I was kind of just like, one day, I think I woke up and I said, fuck it, like this life is too short, you know. I want to do what I want to do, and if I don't do it, at least I tried. And you know, if I do make it, like there's not an option to fail. But if I do make it, that's what I want to do with my life. And if I don't, then at least I tried, you know.
To piggyback off the question, you know, you're talking about when you became an artist. I kind of wanted to ask, what do you think, if you haven't had that moment, what will be that moment when it's like, damn, like I really made it doing what I love?
It's hard to say because technically, like this is also a big thing I'm pretty big on. Is like I was talking about before. It's like you don't feel any more fulfilled after you get 1 million views or 100,000 views or followers. And like a lot of people, when you tell them about, like if I tell them someone about myself, it's like, oh, you made this amount of money from this song, or you got 1 million streams, like I was telling you guys before. It's like I didn't feel any really better about, you know, it didn't provide any. It's like it's all about like validation for like I'm constantly seeking validation in other ways, you know, like I want this, but like it's like how it's just like it's like a greedy thing. It's like you got to really slow down. It's like all about perspective. It's like, okay, I'm complaining. This is what I'm complaining about. Like I got like 4 million streams on my first song, right? And then I like Raindrops did like 100,000 in like maybe like 2 weeks or something. And like to anybody you tell that to, like, wow, like that's crazy. And even like in the music industry, it's like good. But like I was like, well, why didn't I get 4 million again? And it's just like I don't know if there's back to your question. It's like I don't know if there's a point where I'll say like even if I'm a signed artist or it's not even my goal, but even if I'm making like $100 million, it's like, have I made it yet if I'm not bigger than this guy? So to answer your question, I don't know if there's ever going to be a point, but I think you could say when I like, you know, sell out a show or something, or like do a show where everybody's there to see me. That's when I'll know that, you know, there's something there. Until then, but I think it's like a toxic kind of trait because it's good that I'm so hard on myself, but at the same time it's definitely a little bit toxic to like, you know, you're like stop and actually take it all in before it's gone. Like you don't know whatever, you know, you never know when your day's gonna come. So I think a big thing that I preach now is like I try to be grateful and be, you know, because like it could pass by real quick. It could, you know, it could be over soon, and you never know. So like I don't know when I'll be satisfied, but for now I'm not satisfied, not at all. Like no matter what, not right now.
You know, kind of talking about never being satisfied. You know, right now, are you an independent artist?
Yeah.
I kind of want to ask, is that a goal of yours? Like, do you want to be signed? Like, what kind of path do you want to take?
I'm not like opposed to not signing. It's just like if it's you know, I'm not signing. You know, I've been offered stuff before, but it's just like it has to make sense and it has to, you know, be what I want, or else like I'm doing it by myself so far. It's going pretty well. But it's not that I'm opposed to signing. It's just it would have to really make sense. It would have to make sense for all. It have to be a win-win situation for both sides, both parties. You know.
Okay, and in your opinion, what is the win-win? Like, obviously nowadays contracts have changed a lot.
Yeah.
When it comes to the music industry, what do you think? What is something you would consider signing?
I wouldn't put a number on it because I can't really value myself right now. But it would have to be an amount that lets me release music freely, and like obviously at some some schedule to it, but where I can get enough money to be good for a while, live comfortably for a while, and like be able to do this and pay all the bills and not have to worry for a while, and obviously take care of the people that are that need to take care of. But in terms of, I can't really put a price on it or put terms to it. It kind of have to just like make sense, you know. I guess kind of broad, but
10 million.
it depends for what, bro. Because if you say 10 million, I have to pay it back, and then I make only 5 million. I'm like, why am I giving you? And then I have to pay 5 million out of my pocket. So you could give me 10 million, and you have to pay it back in 15 years. So in 15 years, I blow all the money by accident. Something happens. Then I'm down 50 million to you, and that's just how it works. But 10 million and something X amount of songs, and I'm not responsible for it. We could talk about it. We could talk about it.
Okay. I mean, we kind of went off this already, but you're talking about signing with other management, and obviously they look for specific talent, specific sounds. And we already talked about this, but I just want to bring it up again. Like your voice, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you're 21. In some of your songs, like, no offense, you kind of sound like you're 15. Like, what's the deal there?
It's a lot of people say that. It's just like it's my natural voice. I don't really know how to explain it, but I just sound like I can show you some. Like people think it's auto-tune, but it's really not. Like,
You want to perform? You want to give us a little snippet?
I guess I'll show you something from my new song.
Okay. Yeah. All right. What's it called?
It's called Glory.
All right. Go ahead.
All by myself with no one to sleep with. All alone, I'm battling demons. Called your phone, but nobody breathing. All by myself, I'm finally leaving. Riding down 95 with a blunt. And I just keep getting high because I'm done. I can't keep on drinking it dry no more. My dad said I'm fucking my kidneys up. This liquor getting heavier and I just can't control it no more. Baby, I'm done. You said it's all my fault and you finally leaving. It's okay, we're finally even. Girl, you said I cheated, but you cheated too. So I guess that we're even because both of us knew. Ooh.
It's hard, bro. It's like because I'm sitting down, like hunched over. But
He can actually sing,
do you
bro.
think?
You
yeah,
can sing.
that's also like 30%. I'm not sure.
You definitely vocalize a lot more when you're singing than when you're talking. You're a lot louder.
Yeah.
That's the song you showed us before you got on. You said it's called Glory. I mean, do you guys have like a release date? Like, what do you have so far?
Right now, nothing set in stone, but it should be. Let me check the calendar. Hopefully by the end of this month.
Okay.
If you're watching it, it's probably out though. If you're watching the podcast and it's on, wherever you guys. If you're watching this, it should be out.
I mean, we'll see. We'll talk about it after when it comes out. We can kind of maybe align the dates.
Yeah, no,
but
definitely.
Okay, hopefully if it is out, it'll be in the comments.
Yeah, no, it will be. If it's out, you'll see the podcast. But also, if it's not, it will be a couple days later. Like definitely soon.
That's right. I mean, this is the song that he was talking about earlier. The one that he said is his favorite song so far. You definitely sound like your music. How much production goes into your songs?
A good amount of production. I don't. In terms of production, what exactly do you mean?
Like, I mean, I don't know how to produce music. I don't know what goes into music. But after you do your vocals and stuff, how much work goes into it? Like in mixing and producing.
Definitely spends a lot of time. I have someone that does it. Shout out Anthem. He does a lot of my stuff. He helps me with hitting the right notes. He helps me with balance. He mixes and masters everything. So I definitely would say a good amount, but not to an extent where it's like some artists you listen to and it sounds nothing like them when they sing. It's like all the auto tune. I think I have naturally is a pretty decent voice, and then there's just post production stuff before it's radio ready. So I think Anthem definitely helps with that and. In terms of production process, it's a good amount, but it's also a standard amount that any other artist would do. I think.
Where did you get the beat for that song?
Well, now you're giving out too much information.
Yeah,
let's calm down, man.
Yo, it's funny. I got the beat. I'm not gonna say. We could talk about it after, but I kind of got the beat. I was searching up in my database, Imagine Dragons type beat, because I just. Anthem actually said, "Yo, why don't you try out some some shit you never tried before?" So he just said, type something in like that, would hit up your people and ask them about something like that kind of beat. So I got sent this back, or I found this back, and I kind of just it just came about. I got the chills when I listened to the beat, and then when I finished the song, I got the chills. I was like, "Yeah, that's the one."
All right, so we also talked about before you even came on when we were listening to the song. We talked about a music video. I mean, you said this sounds like a movie song.
Yeah.
You gotta have a music video. The song's almost done. What's the situation there?
We're about to shoot the music video. I think tomorrow, actually.
Oh, here in Miami?
Yeah, in Miami. We got a bunch of. This is like I've shot a music video before, but this is my first real one. Real. The ones I shot before were like no plan, no treatment, nothing. But I got my boy Ace working on it right now. Shout out Ace. I don't know if he wants everybody to know that, but Ace is running it right now. He's got everything going, but this music video is gonna go crazy, bro. Like I'm telling you, just watch. When you see the podcast, you're gonna know.
All right. I mean, that's all I got. You got any last questions before we get out of here?
No last question. I just want to say Ace has been calling, texting. He don't stop.
Nah, he got 15 different phones. He's like the president, bro. I never seen anybody move like that.
Oh, well, we gonna talk about that soon. We'll get on to. Yo, want to give you a huge shout out. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Hopefully, by the time we drop this, the music, hopefully the music video, but the song at least will either be just come out or about to come out.
Definitely.
The C4's got me going crazy. All his stuff will be down below. If the music video is out, it will be down below. If not, you'll find all his other stuff down there. Shout out to you again. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Thank you guys.
Bow.
Peace.
Bow.